So, I'm actually going to put this out there, and I'll be honest too. Since there's been a lot of, I guess, anxiety regarding my father, and a lot of people, if you have ever spoke about my dad, check yourself because you did not know him, and if you did, you would reconsider what you're about to say. Okay, my father was a charming man, a very loving man, very family oriented man, um, but he had a drinking problem. Okay, so my father was married 2 times to his first 2 wives, my older sibling mother. So I do have 5 siblings, which I have mentioned multiple times. Um, my father was married twice before he met my mother. And now there's been rumors on why they left him. But my mom and them can agree that it had to do with drinking. My father was a quiet man. He was very charming, very affectionate. He held me, and which I absolutely loved about my father. But he could not put the bottle down. And he was a musician. He sang and he played his music, and he was so good at it. My father taught me to sing, to play guitar, to harmonize. But right before my father passed away, okay, I called him. It was summertime, and I hadn't seen him for a while. I knew he worked a lot, so I figured maybe he just forgot. I was supposed to see him. It was, again, summertime, so I was stuck on the ranch, which I love horses, and I love taking care of horses, but I wanted to see my dad. And I called him up, and I said, "Dad, where are you? I haven't seen you in a while." And he was slurring his words. And he said, "I'm sorry, I'm drunk." And I remember I got so angry. I've never been more angry in my life. I might have touched on this before in a different video, but I've never been more angry in my life. I broke things. I took a bat to cars, and the funny thing is, I did not get arrested. The lady that I was living with at the time, her name is Vicky Miracle. She is literally the most loving woman, a nurse. She's a nurse, and the most loving, beautifulest woman I've ever met in my life. She did not press charges. Now let's backtrack. So earlier that year, I decided to sneak out into the barn and sleep with the horses. I love horses that much that I did not want to be around anyone. And I had some issues at high school. I was a freshman. I was 15, and I was having a lot of issues with school. And so I decided to sleep with horses. And I ended up falling asleep in the loft, which is like above the horses, okay? It's like where the hay stacks are. And it gets really cold at night, okay? It gets, I don't know, maybe 30, I don't even know how cold, but it gets really cold at night, especially out in the woods. I had no blanket and nothing. So I fell asleep, and I ended up waking up, and I could not breathe. My lungs were, I was wheezing, and I naturally have issues breathing because I have asthma. So I ended up running to her, to Vicky, and I could not breathe. I ended up passing out, and she took me to the hospital, okay? And I had 106-degree temperature, okay? Now, that is officially brain dead. Hold on, I'm almost finished.
Mama, listen.
Hold on, please. So I ended up going to the hospital with 106-degree temperature, and and I was in a coma. Okay, my dad came to see me, and he's the reason I woke up. I remember his hand was in my hand, and his soft voice woke me up. And I guess apparently that like really, really broke my dad, seeing me on my deathbed. And I remember like waking up as if like something woke me, and yeah, and that's my story.